Krishna, everyone. Thank you for coming for the Sunday Love Feast program. First of all, I'd like to thank Ramachandra Prabhu for giving me this opportunity to speak today. And also thank you all for coming on this beautiful day where you could have been somewhere else. I chose to come to be with the devotees and take the blessings of Shri Gaurnitai and Shri Radha Shyam Sundar. So today's class will be on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, the king of all knowledge, Raj Vidya, text number 26. Before I start, I would like to seek blessings of the presiding deities, all the Vaishnavas assembled, and also my parents who are here today. Everyone can repeat after me. Patram pushpam phalam toyam.
Patram pushpam phalam toyam.
Yume bhaktya prayachati.
Yume bhaktya prayachati.
Tad aham bhakti upahartam.
Tad aham bhakti upahartam.
Ashnami prayatatmanaha.
Ashnami prayatatmanaha.
Somebody would like to.
Patram pushpam phalam toyam.
Patram, repeat after me please. Patram, a leaf. Pushpam, a flower. Phalam, a fruit. Toyam, water. Yaha, whoever. Me, unto. Me, bhaktya, with devotion. Prayachati, offers. Tat, that. Aham, I. Bhakti upartam, offered in devotion. Ashnami, accept. Prayatatmanaha, from one in pure consciousness. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Purport. For the intelligent person, it is essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, in order to achieve a permanent blissful abode for eternal happiness. The process of achieving such a marvelous result is very easy and can be attempted even by the poorest of the poor, without any kind of qualification. The only qualification required in this connection is to be a pure devotee of the Lord. It does not matter what one is or where one is situated. The process is so easy that even a leaf or a little water or fruit can be offered to the Supreme Lord in genuine love, and the Lord will be pleased to accept it. No one, therefore, can be barred from Krishna consciousness because it is so easy and universal. Who is such a fool that he does not want to be Krishna conscious by this simple method, and thus attain the highest perfectional life of eternity, bliss, and knowledge? Krishna wants only loving service and nothing more. Krishna accepts even a little flower from his pure devotee. He does not want any kind of offering from a non-devotee. He is not in need of anything from anyone because he is self-sufficient. And yet he accepts the offering of his devotee in an exchange of love and affection. To develop Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of life. Bhakti is mentioned twice in this verse in order to declare more emphatically that bhakti, or devotional service, is the only means to approach Krishna. No other condition, such as becoming a brahmana, a learned scholar, a very rich man, or a great philosopher, can induce Krishna to accept some offering. Without the basic principle of bhakti, nothing can induce the Lord to agree to accept anything from anyone. Bhakti is never causal. The process is eternal. It is direct action in service to the Absolute Whole. Here, Lord Krishna, having established that he is the only enjoyer, the primeval Lord, and the real object of all sacrificial offerings, reveals what types of sacrifices he desires to be offered. If one wishes to engage in devotional service to the Supreme, in order to be purified and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, then one should find out what the Lord desires of him. One who loves Krishna will give him whatever he wants, and he avoids offering anything which is undesirable or unasked. Thus, meat, fish, and eggs should not be offered to Krishna. If he desired such things as offerings, he would have said so. Instead, he clearly requests that a leaf, fruit, flower, and water be given to him, and he says of this offering, I will accept it. Therefore, we should understand that he will not accept meat, fish, and eggs. Vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water are the proper food for human beings that are prescribed by Lord Krishna himself. Whatever else we eat cannot be offered to him, since he will not accept it. Thus, we cannot be acting on the level of loving devotion if we offer such foods. In the 3rd chapter, verse 13, Sri Krishna explains that only the remains of sacrifice are purified and fit for consumption by those who are seeking advancement in life and release from the clutches of the material entanglement. Those who do not make an offering of their food, he says in the same verse, are eating only sin. In other words, their every mouthful is simply deepening their involvement in the complexities of material nature. But preparing nice, simple vegetable dishes, offering them before the picture of or deity of Lord Krishna, and bowing down and praying for him to accept such a humble offering, enable one to advance steadily in life, to purify the body and to create fine brain tissues which will lead to clear thinking. Above all, the offering should be made with an attitude of love. Krishna has no need of food, since he already possesses everything that be. Yet he will accept the offering of one who desires to please him in that way. The important element in preparation, in serving, and in offering is to act with love for Krishna. The impersonalist philosophers who wish to maintain that the absolute truth is without senses cannot comprehend this verse of Bhagavad Gita. To them, it is either a metaphor or proof of the mundane character of Krishna, the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita. But in actuality, Krishna, the Supreme Person, the Supreme Godhead, has senses, and it is stated that his senses are interchangeable. In other words, one sense can perform the function of any other. This is what it means to say that Krishna is absolute, lacking senses. He could hardly be considered full in all opulences. In the 7th chapter, Krishna has explained that he impregnates the living entities into material nature. This is done by his looking upon material nature. And so, in this instance, Krishna is hearing the devotee's words of love. In offering foodstuff, he is wholly identical with his eating and actually tasting. This point should be emphasized. Because of his absolute position, his hearing is wholly identical with his eating and tasting. Only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he describes himself without interpretation can understand that the supreme absolute truth can eat food and enjoy it. So here, the last line is so important. The important element in preparation, in serving, and in offering is to act with love for Krishna, not just preparation, but in serving and offering. And wherever there's Krishna, his devotees are also present. So that's not just Krishna, it also applies to the devotees. We must remember that. So this chapter 9 is very important in the Bhagavad Gita. In the second verse of chapter 9, Krishna mentions Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Dharmam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. So this knowledge is the king of all knowledge. And in this chapter you will see that Arjuna doesn't speak at all. The entire chapter is spoken by Krishna. So we can understand how important it is. And here Krishna takes away all excuses of me not being able to serve. I don't have the time to serve. I don't have the means to serve. I don't have the physical health to serve. Mentally I'm disturbed, I cannot serve. Krishna makes it so easy for us that there is really nothing left. Can anybody tell me what this picture is, which pastime this is? Those are far away, or maybe you want to turn off this light or leave it on. Let's try it. Vidur, this is Vidurani giving banana peels to Krishna. Is it better? Yeah. So, the main point here in this pastime, as you all know, the story goes that Krishna went to see Duryodhana before the war started. He wanted to talk to him and make him understand that what he's doing is foolish. And he wanted to sit and talk, and basically he was invited for prasadam. And Duryodhana had made 56 items, had that made. And Krishna went there to eat. But Duryodhana was not ready to listen to what Krishna wanted to say. He was not ready to accept the proposal that Krishna was about to make. So Krishna said, I'm not interested in your food. If you're not willing to listen, if you're not willing to accept, then I'm not interested in what you're offering. And Krishna left from there. And as he was leaving, he thought about Vidura. Vidura was very dear to Krishna. So Krishna went to Vidura's house, and Vidura was not home. But his wife Vidurani was there. Now she was doing her daily chores, and then suddenly there's a knock on the door. She opens it, and it's Krishna. Imagine what would happen to us if we're just doing a daily routine work, and we open the door, and Krishna shows up, or your spiritual master shows up, or Prabhupada shows up. We'd be completely, we wouldn't know what to do at that point. So Vidurani, same thing. And as she stood there, Krishna says, Vidurani, I'm hungry. Are you just going to stand here staring at me, or are you going to give me some food to eat? So Vidurani ran inside, and she got some bananas. She had him sit down and offered him. She's looking at Krishna, so engrossed, and she has the bananas. She's removing the peels and then throwing off the banana and handing over the peel. Now here is Krishna. She's giving him the peels, and then she takes the next banana. She opens the peels, takes the banana, throws it away, and gives the peel. And Krishna is staring back at Vidurani. He takes the peels, he eats them, and he gives his hand forward, and she gives another one. And he takes that one, and he eats that one. And there is such a loving exchange in between both of their eyes. And in between that, who walks in? Vidur walks in. And Vidur walks in and looks at them. And he looks at the peels and the banana, and he goes, oh my God, what's going on here? And he goes to Vidurani. And Vidurani is in a shock. Like, husband is calling, so she came out of her ecstasy. And she looks at Vidur and says, yes. She said, what are you doing? You're offering banana peels to our Lord Krishna, and you're throwing away the bananas. And she looks and she says, oh my God, what did I do? And she offers, now she takes the banana and offers the banana and throws away the peel. And Krishna says, it's okay, I don't want that banana. Do you know why? Why he didn't accept that banana? It wasn't with that same love. He looked at Vidura and said, spoil the whole maja. You know? I was nicely eating, she was nicely offering, and now she's come back to her senses, and now she's doing it as her duty. But before that, she was doing with so much love engrossed, she was offering. Now see the beauty of the devotee. So engrossed, so purely offering to Krishna. And look at Krishna also. I mean, we read in Nectar of Devotion how many types of offenses are listed. I just did a class on avoiding offenses, and one after another, avoiding to the deities. But here, even the appeals Krishna accepts lovingly because it came from her heart. So we must understand that it is not what we are offering. We could be making 56 items. We could be Sanjeev Sharma in cooking. Sanjeev Sharma, right? Sanjeev Kapoor in cooking. Or we could be a chela of Kurma Das. Or you could be a cheli of Yamuna Devi Dasi. But it doesn't matter if that love is not there in offering to Krishna. That is what is required. Not the golden plate. When we went to Duryodhana's house, all the offerings were in gold plate. All the drinks, everything was in golden glass, golden cups. But Krishna didn't like it. He just didn't want it because the attitude in which he was serving was not right. So we have to get our attitude in the right place. Right now, the kitchen head is in India. I'm by myself, so I'm the assistant who's now going into the kitchen and become the head of the kitchen. And my assistant is right here. So we both are struggling to manage the kitchen. But we make it a point, because when we are reading all these verses, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, offer with love and devotion, which I read it, I memorized the verse, I know the translation, everything is done. But when it comes to application, practicality, we fail. So I have to remind myself that wherever we are, we have to ensure that Krishna or Gaurnita at home is fed with love and devotion. So I had to go and say, listen, this is what I can give. I don't know how to make puris and I don't know how to make rotis and chapatis. Unless and until one of our Matajis call and say, Prabhu, we are sending you chapatis and puris. I'm at their mercy, but other than that, I can make sabjis and I can make rice. I can make khichu and whatever else I can make, you're going to get. So please be satisfied. So we make an attempt that wherever we are, we come back to make an offering, either like that or like our acharyas used to do madhukari. They would go around asking for bhoga and they would come and prepare. So I would go to my mother and say, okay, today please make something so I can offer to Krishna. So in that way, we're trying to make an offering to Krishna out of love and affection. So when we are in such situations where it's not our expertise, are we remembering this verse and saying, no, Krishna needs to eat because I just had a nice meal in Honest yesterday, and tomorrow I'm going to Veggie Heaven, and the day before I went to Bombay Talk, and then devotees are inviting me for prasadam, and nice prasad, but Krishna is getting only dry fruits. So the essence, I'll go back to it later on, the essence of devotional service is always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. And how to apply that is like this, that we're always constantly thinking, has Krishna eaten something? Has Krishna, is he okay? Is the temperature okay in the house? Well, I'm going out of the house, so let me turn off the heat, because we're not there and the bills are pretty high. So I'm going to turn down the heat and let it get cold. Or vice versa, well, we are stepping out, so let's turn down the air condition so that, the bills are low. But if we are conscious that our presiding deities are home, we will ensure that we'll keep it at a temperature by which they are not affected. Otherwise, it's all at talk level. We love Krishna, but let him freeze or let him be in extreme heat. No, we have to be conscious. If we give to Krishna, we cannot imagine how much he can give us back. That much faith we must have. So here we see from that pastime that how lovingly Krishna accepts whatever we offer, but that sincerity has to be there in our heart. And whatever I'm going to speak today, consider the same for devotees also. Okay? Don't just say Krishna. So when Krishna comes, Janmashtami comes, we make nice offering. And when Ramachandra Prabhu comes to your house, you'll just give him khichdi. No, don't do that. Then we go to different pastimes. This is another pastime, Sanatana Goswami. You may have heard about Sanatana Goswami's. Anybody knows the Sanatana Goswami's deities? Madan Mohan. Jai. Madan Mohan deities Sanatana Goswami had. There's a pastime how through Vajranath, from Krishna's grandson, how the deities passed all the way to Sanatana Goswami. The bottom line is Sanatana Goswami was a mendicant. He was a sannyas. He was just in Vrindavan without anything. He didn't have a bank account. He didn't have a house. He was just living very, very simply, and he had Madan Mohan. And one day, I mean, he's just offering very simple offerings. Whatever he does Madhukari. Madhukari means he will go home to home and Bhiksham Dehi, and whatever he gets, he comes back, usually rice. He makes the rice and he offers. So one day, Madan Mohan said to Sanatana Goswami, Baba, at least offer me some salt with it. Sanatana Goswami got concerned. He says, Madan Mohan, you want salt. Today you are asking for salt. Tomorrow you will ask for dal. Then you will ask for chapati. And your list will not end. If you want salt, you arrange for your own salt. But this is what I can offer, and that's, please be happy with it. Simple-hearted speaking to his Lord. Couple of days later, as he's doing his bhajan, one merchant walks up to him and he says, oh Babaji, I need some help. Can you help me out? My ship, my merchant ship, is stuck in the water near the Yamuna bank, and I cannot move it, and it's full of salt. And I'm stuck here, and I have to go to the marketplace, and there's a big wherever, and I have to sell it. So he said, well, you see my body, I've only been eating this much, I have no muscles, nothing, I'm not strong, nothing, and I'm a sadhu. You please pray to my Madan Mohan. What was the name of that merchant, anybody remembers? I forgot. So anyway, this merchant went up to Madan Mohan and said, Madan Mohan, kindly, please help me relieve my ship from here. If you relieve my ship, I promise I will do something for you as well. And he goes down, and as he goes down, he sees that the Yamuna, the water level, had increased, and the boat got released from the mud that it was stuck in, and he took off. And he sold all his salt and whatever else he had. And then after he sold that, he remembered his promise. And then he came back. And he came back to Madan Mohan, Sanatana Goswami, and he said that, it was because of your Lord I was able to finish my transaction. And as promised, I would like to build a beautiful temple for your Lordship. And he came back and he did that. So here you will see that a simple offering by Sanatana Goswami, he was just basically offering whatever he could get. Krishna was accepting, Krishna was speaking to him. Such a relationship where Krishna was saying, hey, listen, I want more. And when Sanatana Goswami said, you arrange yourself, Krishna arranged himself. Devotee instructed, Krishna did it. So we should come to that level where Krishna wants to serve his devotees. We don't ask Krishna to do something for us. Never. But Krishna arranged for it. And similarly, many times we also make such promises. Like Krishna, I want this or I want that, or make this happen, make that happen. And as soon as it happens, we'll say, when this happens, in our minds, we make commitments. I'll do this for Krishna. But just like that merchant, do we remember later on that this is what Krishna did for me, and now it's time to reciprocate to Krishna and give him with open heart. Many times we do that, we pray for something and then we forget. Or just like that story where, somebody's taking that popcorn and the wind blows and the popcorn blows away and then says, oh Krishna, you took your share anyways, something like that, right? So similarly, we must also remember and always attitude of gratitude to Krishna. Another pastime, some of you may have heard, is anybody from Karnataka here? Okay, they are, but they're not raising their hands. I know who they are. I was wondering if anybody else. So there's a nice story of Kanakadas, if anyone has heard about Kanakadas. This is in the town of Udupi, where Udupi Sri Krishna is present. So Kanakadas, he was from a lower so-called class, not a Brahmana. And the temple where Udupi Sri Krishna was being worshipped, the Brahmanas would not allow him to come inside and make his offering. He was traveling, and in the town they had found the Kanakadasas here, and somebody gave him a small residence, a hut in front of the temple, but he was not allowed to go inside, and he wanted to make some offering. So one day he made some chapatis. He got, again, madhukari, people gave atta and all that, and he made some chapati. And then he saw from the temple there was a flow of water coming out, which was water from the rice. In some places they call it ganji. They put some salt in that salt water, and it's really nice, tasty, it's healthy, even during some sickness, illness, you eat that. So he said, I'll take some roti, I'll go and collect some ganji from there, and I'll offer to the Lord. And he went there, and the Brahmanas chastised him. They said, how dare could you do this? How could you even think about making an offering to Udupi Sri Krishna? It's only us, the Brahmanas, who can cook for him and offer him. So look at him, he did not retaliate. He did not say, well, I am Kanakadas, the great sage. I'm a devotee of the Lord, and what do you mean by I cannot offer to Krishna? He took a humble position. He was hurt, but he went to the back side of the temple, and he sat there crying. And he looked through, in the backside there were certain holes through which the lights, as the sun would come out, the light would come out. The deities were facing east. So Kanakadas sat there, and then he looked at the holes, and he really poked his eyes through the holes to see Krishna. But of course Krishna was facing that side. When Krishna noticed what has happened, that his pure devotee was kicked out, Krishna was not happy. So Krishna, facing this side, started turning. And the deity turned towards Kanakadas. And right there, Kanakadas was having darshan of Udupi Sri Krishna. Now when the Brahmanas opened the door to make an offering, they saw the back of Krishna. And they were amazed, what happened here? How did Krishna move? This deity cannot move. How did the deity move to the other side? They went to the other side and saw Kanakadas sitting there taking beautiful darshan of the Lord. Tears coming out of his eyes. Since that time, till today, there is a tradition of offering chapati, roti, with ganji. And till today, there is that place from where you can see, when you go to Udupi, first you go through that window, through that holes where you can see Sri Krishna. And the deity is still facing on the opposite side. See how much love Krishna has for all of us. But the problem is that we don't allow ourselves to be stepped upon. Right away we want to take the matter in our hands. Anything, even smallest little thing, if like the Brahmanas, if somebody does something to us, we take the matters in our hands. But if we take shelter of Krishna and say, okay, Rakhe Krishna Mareke, Hare Krishna Rakheke, if this is what Krishna wants, so be it. So be it. And that's what he allowed. If he had taken matters into his hands and started fighting, and some people come in, things would have been different. Sri Udupi Krishna would not have reciprocated like that. So simple offering, again, patram pushpam phalam toyam, had nothing with him, made a simple offering, Krishna accepted it. Now this does not mean that Krishna does not accept 56 items. This does not mean Krishna does not accept opulence. He does. If Duryodhana had offered 56 items with love and devotion, and Krishna came and said that, Duryodhana, don't fight, just give them the land, and it's okay, they are your brothers, just, it's fine, Krishna, this is what you need to do. And if he had accepted it, Krishna would have had that everything. He's Jagannath. He eats like nobody can supply. He's Giriraj. He can eat, you can't supply enough. But he did not. If our spiritual masters, if Prabhupada and Krishna came and told us something, anything, we should be right away ready to put it into action. Then that's how the mercy flows. But Duryodhana didn't do that. And that's why he lost. Even when he was asked for army, do you want my army, Akshayoni army, or do you want me? What did he pick? He selected his army. And what happened at the end? He lost. So we always want to remain by Krishna's side. The next pastime that I could think of is of Pundalik, a devotee of Lord Vitthal. Vitthal is also Krishna. In Pandharpur there is a deity of Vitthal Rukmini. So Vitthal, Pundalik also came from a very aristocratic family. He was so aristocratic, his parents were like the millionaires of those days. This is 5,000 years ago. And had all the wealth needed. Pundalik eventually was so spoiled growing up, he got married, his parents got him married. And once he got married, he was completely captivated by his wife. And his wife manipulated him and eventually had his parents kicked out of the house. After they were kicked out, she got pregnant, and he says, why did you kick them out? He says, well, isn't that what you wanted me to do? He said, yeah, but you should have thought, I'm going to get pregnant, we're going to have children, and we need a babysitter. So who's going to do the babysitting now? And he says, your parents, right? Yeah. I didn't think about that. He says, now go and get your parents. So Pundalik left to get his old elderly parents, who were rich aristocrats, and they left the home with nothing in their hand. He didn't give them anything. He just kicked them out. Not even a pair of cloth. And as they were walking, they were going from one place to another, no GPS, just walking, no Google Maps, through the forest, here or there. Eventually, they were so tired, so ill. Pundalik went looking after them, and finally, after days and days looking for them, found them in a temple, just sitting in front of the Lord, singing Hari Bhajan. Before that, when Pundalik was looking for them, he was tired, and one night he rested. He saw an ashram, and he went to that ashram. It was a beautiful ashram, many cottages, many sages. And he found out, he asked, whose ashram is this? So they said, this is the ashram of Kukut Swami. You want to rest? Yes, here's a place, go rest there. He went to rest at night. Suddenly he heard the sound of anklet bells. Ching, 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 ching. Somebody walking. And he got up from his sleep. And he saw from his sleep that three very dirty clothes and with dirt, three women went into one cottage. And again, he was half asleep, he went to sleep, and then again he woke up with that same anklet sound, and he saw the same three ladies walking out of that cottage. Beautiful, fresh, shining, like dazzling. And he was amazed. And he saw this happening a couple of days. Finally, one day he went up and he asked Kukut Swami that at night I see three ladies going in, completely in dirt, come out, completely looking effulgent. What's going on here? Am I dreaming? And one of the disciples, the sages, they said that, oh, those three, they are Yamuna, Ganga, and Saraswati. It's okay? But what's the secret behind what's going on? What is this pastime? Says, yes, so many people throughout the day come and take bath in them. So many sinful people come. and they take all their sins. And so they come here to Kukut Swami's ashram. And Kukut Swami has this blessing. Kukut Swami also does so nicely that anyone who comes into his ashram and does a little service gets purified. So we come here and we do some service in Kukut Swami's ashram. They come, they clean the floor, and they go away refreshed completely. The point to note here is Kupundlik, just hearing this, had a transformation. And he started thinking that, oh Krishna, what have I done? Here are these three great personalities who came, served in Kukut Swami's ashram, who served his parents and got purified. And me, I kicked away my parents from my house, old parents. So he vigorously started looking for them, finally found them, and started serving. One night, he had made a shack, a hut out of leaves, branches and all. And one night, what happened was, Vitthal and Rukmini in Dwarka, they were there. Now, Krishna was engrossed in pastimes, remembering Radharani, and Rukmini walks in. And sometimes, we talk in sleep, right? Pizza, pizza, something, whatever we are into. So Krishna was thinking about Radharani and Radha. And Rukmini heard this, and she got upset. And as soon as she got upset, Krishna realized Rukmini was here, and then she got upset and says, I'm leaving. I'm leaving Dwarka and I'm going to Kundinapur, my father's house. You be here and do what you want to do. And she left. And Krishna followed her all the way from Dwarka to what is Nagpur today, that area, Kundinapur. But she wouldn't come. He went after her. She wouldn't listen. And then finally, Krishna said that, well, she's not going to listen to me. She's not going to come. Let her calm down a little bit. But since I'm here, not far from here is Pandharpur, let me go and visit my devotee, Pundalik. So Krishna comes to Pundalik's place. Here are his parents, and he's massaging his feet. And Krishna comes. Anybody home? And Pundalik is massaging his parents. Don't want to disturb them. And again, anybody home? Says, yes, who is it? He says, it's me. So whoever you are. And in his hand you see a brick. He takes a brick from next to him and he throws it outside. He says, please have a seat. First thing, when a guest comes, you offer them a seat, you offer them water, you offer them kind words. So Pundalik was busy, he couldn't speak to them or offer water, so he just gave a seat. He threw a brick. He says, yeah, please sit on this. No sofa, nothing like that. So he offered something with love and devotion. He didn't know it was Krishna, but whoever, a guest came and he offered it, it happened to be Krishna. Just like the gopis. The gopis don't know this Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they serve from their heart. And that's why Krishna loves them so much. So here he did the same thing. So Krishna was standing there. As soon as he was done with his service to his parents, Pundalik walked out and he looked from the bottom, going up. And right there is Krishna standing with his hands on his waist and waiting for Pundalik to come out. And Pundalik was, oh my goodness, this is you, Krishna? You waiting for here, me here? And while Krishna was waiting for him, also Rukmini came. Now where is Krishna? Where is Krishna Vasha? She came searching for him and she was also standing. So Krishna was so pleased by his service to his parents in Krishna consciousness that he came himself and asked for a benediction. And Pundalik said, please never leave from here. Always be present in this group. So Krishna stayed there as Vitthal and Rukmini. Those 5,000-year-old deities are still present in Pandharpur. One that only I know where you can touch the deities even till today. After 5,000 years, when you go there, you could put your head on the lotus feet of Krishna. So here, another offering, simple offering to Krishna. Krishna accepted it. Then, of course, we know the fruit vendor. The fruit vendor had heard she was going every day distributing fruits. And she heard about this Nanda Nandana. Somebody said, Nanda Nandana, this beautiful boy in Gokula, have you ever seen? So she developed this desire just hearing about Nanda Nandana. and she wanted to go there. So she was living near Mathura, and she took all the effort. She took a boat and with her whole basket full of fruits, many different types of fruits, she went to Gokula. And when she went to Gokula, generally she would call out, fruits, anybody fruits, fruits, anybody fruits. But here she started calling out, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, hoping that Damodar will come running. She would go to Gokul, go by his house. This is the house of a king, Nanda Baba, coward boys, coward men's kings. So he would not come. She went one day, second day, third day. He would just not show up. So the fruit lady said, today I will go, and if this Nandana doesn't come out, I'm not going back. I take this vow. So she came out. And Krishna found out that this lady has taken this vow that she will never go back. So when Krishna heard Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Krishna was sitting in the lap of his mother Yashoda. And he got out of the lap, and mother is doing something, he jumped out, and he went outside in the veranda. And this lady also knew her etiquettes. I cannot just enter the house of Nanda Baba. So she was sitting outside the gate. Krishna went there. But along as he started running there, Krishna had known that he had seen his parents and other coward boys and girls, that when they bought something, they would do a barter. They would give something and take something in return. It was an exchange. So he thought that this fruit lady has come. So if I'm going to take some fruit, she wants to offer me fruit, so I must give her something else also. So in Nanda Baba's lobby there was a pile of grains. So he put his hand inside it, he picked up the grains and started running. Imagine Krishna, the small anklet bells here, peacock feather, running. He comes to the door, entrance, and there's a fruit vendor sitting. And she looks at him, and just like Vidurani, she's completely captivated by his beauty. Krishna goes, oh, mother, I have brought some grains for you. Can you give me some fruits? And she's looking at him. He says, you brought some grains for me? Show me. And as he opens, there is no grains in his hand. His hands are so tiny. He filled it up, but as he was running, all the grains started falling from here, there, everything. There's hardly maybe one dot or something. He says, oh yeah, sure, give it to me. And she gives him fruits. But he says, and actually he didn't have anything, so she says, well, you don't have anything, so how can I give you? He says, oh, okay, let me go and get it again. So he went again, he brought some grains, and same thing happened again. So now she says that, well, you know what, I don't want anything, but can you just quickly sit on my lap for just one moment? If you sit on my lap for a moment, then I'll give you the fruit. So Krishna looks around left and right. He wants to make sure nobody's watching him. Otherwise people say that, how could you sit in the lap of somebody who is a fruit vendor? You are a prince. He looked left and right and nobody was watching. He quickly went, sat down and got up. He says, now give me my fruit. And she gave the fruits to him. Krishna took the fruits and went back. And here was the fruit vendor. She didn't move from there. She just sat there all day long, all evening. And people were asking, what are you doing here? And she would not talk. She would just be sitting and just thinking and meditating on Krishna. Finally, she got up. She took her tokri, put her on her head. She gave a couple of mangoes. She took it, and as she was going in the boat again, she realized that her tokri was very heavy. Very heavy. She brought it down when she looked inside. It was full of jewels, countless jewels. And each jewel, it is said, that was more, the value of each jewel was more than the entire treasury house of Kansa. And she had countless of them. That fruit lady never made it to her home. On the way, nobody knows what happened to her. She basically left her body. But our acharyas say that Krishna had called her mother, and he wanted to deliver her mother. And just for that beautiful one loving exchange, Krishna gave her the position of mother in the spiritual world and took her back home. What did she have? She didn't have degrees. She didn't have a big home. We don't need all these things. We don't need the money to impress anybody. We don't need all these big homes to impress anybody. We need a clean, clear heart. If our heart is impure, there is no way that even a devotee is going to have a place in you, in their heart for you. What to speak about Krishna? Even a devotee would not want to associate with you if your heart is not clean. If you have enviousness, anger, all these things are present in your hearts, nobody will want to be close around you. What to speak about Krishna? So if we want Krishna, we must understand that we need to have a pure heart. So that was Lord Krishna. Then again, of course, I won't go into details. You know the Sudama story? Simple chipped rice. Krishna accepted it with love and devotion. Shabari, what did she have? She was living in a forest for years. All she had was the natural grown berries. She took those berries and she was waiting for Lord Ram. She offered it to Ram and Lord accepted it. Pure loving exchange. Sometimes we look for things to impress Krishna or attract Krishna. We do so much thinking. We do so much analysis. We do so much planning, but we forget the essence, which is love. So the essence of pure devotional service is always remember Sri Krishna and never forget him. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? Anyone? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.